Hey everybody, welcome to another video. So today I'm reacting to the Oklahoma City Thunder winning their first championship under the guidance of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He won Finals MVP last night. And this video is mostly going to be talking about him, reacting to what he's been able to accomplish in terms of the legacy that he is cementing in the NBA with his performance this season. In the regular season and in the finals. So let's go ahead and just play this video real quick.
Tim?
It's a real short list of guys who've won MVP and Finals MVP in the same season. You add the scoring title in there, that list gets even shorter. Now that you guys have crossed the finish line, are you able to wrap your head around that historic company that you've joined?
So just to preface this all, this is a player, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, SGA for short, where in a single NBA season, he won the scoring title. He scores more than anybody else. He is also able to win Finals MVP, MVP in the regular season, and he wins the NBA championship. Okay, so scoring title, MVP in the regular season, wins the championship, and wins Finals MVP. So that is very elite company, right? When we get into the different people who have actually done that, this is where we get into the legacies, okay? The legacies that have been left behind in the NBA. The first of these people is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. He did this all the way back in 1971. The next person on this list is Michael Jordan. He did this multiple times. That's why he's the GOAT, my GOAT. He did this in 1991, 1992, 1996, and 1998. Then comes along Shaq, the Diesel, in 2000. He also accomplishes this MVP, scoring title, Finals MVP, and champion all in the same year. And then now, here is SGA's reaction. He's just been reminded, hey, you're in this unique company. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Michael Jordan, Shaquille Oneal, those are obviously some of the all-time greats. Those are all top 10 players, in my opinion. Some people might debate it. I would argue that all three of those players are top 10 talents all time, okay, in NBA history. So we look back on these legacies and we appreciate the things that Michael Jordan, Shaquille Oneal, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar left behind in the game of basketball, the stories that they left behind and the accomplishments they were able to make, the legacy they leave in the NBA. And it's unique because we tell those stories, we talk about those accomplishments, and now we actually get to watch a young player like this, SGA, who's only 27 years old. He's able to accomplish this all at the age of 27. Okay, so he has still many years, a potential bright future ahead of him. His team, the Thunder, this Thunder team is looking, they're very young. They're already very skilled. They defend very well. So they have a huge opportunity to continue a streak of dominance, all led by SGA here. And this team, the Oklahoma City Thunder, with this championship, they leave a legacy of their own in this city. But we'll get more to that in a minute. Let's just talk about how Shai here, how SGA is able to reflect on joining these different greats and the legacy that he is leaving and, implementing the same legacy in his life that these different greats implemented.
Yeah, it's hard to believe that I'm part of that group. It's hard to even fathom that I'm that type of basketball player sometimes. As a kid, you dream, and every kid dreams, but you don't ever really know if it's going to come true.
And I just want to stop it there again because he says every kid dreams, right? When you're a kid and you're playing basketball and you have this dream of becoming a basketball player, you dream about joining elite company like that. But you never know if it's going to happen. But that's because you are inspired by the legacies of players who come before you. They serve as an example of what hard work earns you. They serve as an example of what you can accomplish. And you look to that and you try to implement that in your own game, into your own career, into your own life as a basketball player. And in this case, this is an example of someone who is now joining these great figures, these legacies that have been left, to the point where in the future, when another player comes around and they also can win scoring title, MVP, finals MVP, and win the championship all in the same year, then who do you think is going to get mentioned along with MJ, Shaq, Kareem? Now it's SGA. So now he's in that conversation, right? So as a kid, you dream, and you dream because you see the people on that list, and, other players who have similar accomplishments. But now this is an example of a new figure leaving their own legacy in the NBA that people will talk
I'm
about.
just glad and happy that my dreams have been able to come true, and that's a thank you to everyone that's been in my corner that's helped me get here. I wouldn't be able to done without them. They know exactly who they are. So yeah, it's a win for the family.
So, and that's huge for the people in Oklahoma, OKC Thunder fans. Now they, with this team, have a legacy. They can talk about this team's legacy to their kids, to their grandkids, and tell them about Game 7 and, this whole series between them and the Indiana Pacers and how they were able to close the deal. Now, obviously, if you did watch that game, there was a huge occurrence, which is Tyrese Haliburton going down with his Achilles tear. Tore his Achilles in the first quarter. And that was just downright, it was just horrible to see that go down, because I was so hyped to watch that game yesterday, and I was so disappointed because Tyrese Haliburton comes out just playing great. He shoots 3 for 4. He was 3 from 4 for 3-point range. He was hitting threes early. He had 9 points in 6 minutes. And when you look at Tyrese playing that way, he showed up to play, and he's a difference maker on that team. So I'm not trying to take anything away from the Thunder, but you think damn. So if Tyrese Haliburton doesn't go down, at least you get a more interesting game. Maybe you even get a different outcome, but you can never control those things. The Thunder are the rightful champions, so that's all you can say about that. It is a shame, though, because Tyrese Haliburton, in his own way, the way that he was hitting so many clutch game winners, that's a legacy in its own right. That when we look at the clutch players in the game, we can always look back to this 2025 finals. Not just the finals, but the postseason, because he was doing it against the Bucks. He was doing it against the Cavaliers. He was doing it against the Knicks. And he was also then doing it against the Thunder, where he just hits these amazing shots. And now that's a legacy in and of itself that we can look back to, and we can say, hey, remember these games by Tyrese Haliburton. Remember this postseason run by Tyrese Haliburton and the Indiana Pacers. And you even see legacy in how he played, because in Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals, when they play the Knicks and he hits that dagger that dagger shot where it bounces off the rim and bounces back in, and that shot sends them to overtime. What does Tyrese Haliburton do? He puts his hands around his throat with the chokes gesture. That was all based on Reggie Miller's famous choke that he did when he played the Knicks. Once again, just another example of legacy in the NBA. We watch these games, these players who are playing today, they watch the games. They watch the games coming up. They saw players do things before them, and it inspires them in what they do today, so that when he hits a game winner, similar to how Reggie Miller hits the game winner, what does he do? He does the same gesture. He does the same, oh, I got you, kind of mimicking or mirroring the past based on that inspiration, based on the stories that people who are Indiana Pacers fans tell about what their team accomplished in the past. So it sucks for Tyrese Haliburton. He was so close. That was the game of his career. And for him to go down with arguably the worst injury you can get is just a shame. But, that's all I wanted to say for today. I just wanted to talk here about Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, what he's doing with this Thunder team, what he's been able to accomplish this season. It leaves a very powerful legacy in the history of great players in the NBA. It leaves a legacy in terms of this team, leaving a legacy in that franchise with their first championship. That's a huge accomplishment. Every city, every franchise always looks back very fondly on their first championship, and this is their first championship. So they leave that legacy as a team of being the team who was able to get that first championship for Oklahoma City. And so I just wanted to make this video really quick to talk about those legacies and I hope you enjoyed it. If you like this video, make sure that you give it a thumbs up. Make sure that you leave a comment in the comment section about maybe your thoughts on these finals, your thoughts on Tyrese Haliburton going down, maybe some of the great legacies. Maybe you watched MJ and Shaq or even Kareem, if you're old enough, do these things when they were alive, and maybe you comment on what it was like watching that. So anyway, make sure that you subscribe to the channel, and I will see you all in the next video. See you later.